Chairman of the Jimmy Fund, Larry Lucchino, joining us. A long 2 days for everyone who volunteers, but it's such a labor of love.
Well, I'm glad you started with volunteers, too, because we often thank the team and the celebrities and the donors, but we don't take enough time, I think, to stop and thank all the volunteers who make this thing happen and who make the Jimmy Fund and the Dana-Farber Institute work year in and year out. So that's a good place to express our gratitude to begin with. And you're right, we are rolling 3.3, and I think it's gonna roll even higher. This is a special year, so let's make the telethon special.
It's been well documented that this is such an important piece of the community puzzle to you. When you came in as president and CEO, you had been a patient, you had been treated at Dana-Farber, and you wanted to make sure, as those pillars in the community that the Red Sox built, that was always one of the cornerstones.
We've accomplished a great deal since 2001. Our ownership group, and I would say that, of course, breaking the curse and winning 3 World Series is at the top of the list. So also is the Fenway improvements. I would add to that the way we have set up the Red Sox Foundation is an important part, but there's nothing that's higher on the list and from which we derive greater satisfaction than the deepening and the broadening of the Red Sox roots with the Jimmy Fund. And this telethon is an example. It was started by us in 2002, and our partners with WEI and with Nesson have proven to be wonderful partners who have expanded the reach of this. And it's essential to the day-to-day operations of the Jimmy Fund. It's a great deal of our budget comes from this the 2-day affair, and a lot of our energy and inspiration is derived from this 2-day affair too.
You know, when you were with the Red Sox helping the Jimmy Fund, you were well aware of what a winning season would mean to the association all around the team. Now when you're on the Jimmy Fund side, the Dana-Farber side, watching this team, do you see that bump in interest and energy coming into this telethon?
We absolutely do. We have seen it, and I think we've seen it in the last couple of days in terms of the level. I would submit that we're probably ahead of where we were at this time at 6 o'clock or so on the second day. I suspect we are ahead. And if not, I will be surprised. But I couldn't be more pleased, putting aside the dollars, with the energy and the sense of community and the connection between our respective organizations and the community, and the role that the Jimmy Fund plays as kind of the people's charity in Boston, and it's a great thing for a great cause. So thank you all out there very much. Thank you for all you do.
Yeah, the amazing thing about the place, there's so many amazing things about the place, but the fact that it's 50% research, 50% care. I mean, that's what, to me, makes it stand out compared to all the other great hospitals out there in the world. They're working to cure cancer while giving tremendous care to those who are fighting it.
Exactly, and the distance and the time from the research lab to the bed side is actually much shorter here as a result, and it was one of the reasons why I chose to come here. I came up from Baltimore and Washington, and I came up here because the reputation of the place, this is 1986, the reputation of the place was already well established, but I always felt that there were bright, dedicated, committed scientists and researchers who would come up with the next step, the second treatment, the plan B or plan C. That was always part of my appreciation for Dana-Farber, and it proved to be the case as they went to about plan C, I think, on me.
I had a brief lymphoma scare a while back, and I remember when I was given the diagnosis, they said, I'm out in Metro West, got an oncologist in Natick. I said, I'm not going to choose my oncologist based on how many parking spaces they have. Okay, I'm going to come into Boston, I'm going to go to the Dana-Farber and get the best. And I always like what Alex Cora says about his team. There's no 4A. You don't go from AAA to 4A. You go to the major leagues. And you've got the major leagues of research and science and doctors gathered down there. It's got to be a culture and an environment where miracles happen because they push each other.
It is that, but it's also a warm and caring institution too. So you talk about different dimensions of it, the research and the patient care. You also have this this incredibly warm culture that you see examples of you've seen examples of in the last couple of days. The way the nurses bond. I had a patient send me a note just recently where he talked about how exceptional the care and the hospitality, if you will, use that word, was from the moment he went to check in, to the blood tests, to the doctor's appointments, to the infusions. That there is a feeling that pervades the place of care and caring. And since my experience with it, the one thing I look for in a professional, I don't care if he's my doctor or my lawyer or whatever, I look to a person, does that professional care? Does he really care enough? And you see day in and day out, people care at the Jimmy Fund. They care at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, and they don't take a day off. They care. They care. They care.
All right, my producers tell me I have to ask you about the move to Worcester. We can't let you out of here without. Hey, listen, you've been talking a lot over the last couple of days about the decision. We understand all of that. Let's get to the good stuff. You get to build another ballpark. You've been through this before. Take us through the challenge that lies ahead to get that sort of vision of a stadium you have for Central Mass.
The hardest part of building a ballpark is the work that goes up to this point, getting the political chairs in alignment and making the political deal acceptable to both the city and the state and the team, and make it a win-win proposition. We have done that, I think, with Worcester. We're lucky. Worcester has a need and a desire for this baseball team and for this downtown redevelopment. So the fun work begins now as we try to design something that looks and tastes and feels like Worcester and serves as an urban planning device for the city so that it can get its civic goals, as well as the baseball team can get the kind of facility that our fans will love, enjoy, take pride in, and our players will be able to develop at a faster, better clip, perhaps than they might at a 78 or 80-year-old facility.
Well, I spent a lot of time out in Central Mass. Worcester's a great restaurant town. It's really a city on the rise. So it's going to be fun to watch this come together. Great to see you, Larry.
Thank you,
Congrats on the success.
And thank you for your help throughout this.
Always,
you're indefatigable.
Yeah, thanks.